Welcome back. Everyone's financial situation is different and personal, but one thing is the same. We all have to deal with money and we can't avoid it. From paying off debt to saving money for a rainy day, what exactly should we be prioritizing? Here to help us walk through that is Tori Dunlap, founder of Her First 100K. Tori, great to see you.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me back.
It is almost officially summer, and during summertime, a lot of people want to kind of take a vacation from looking at their money and their finances, but tell us why it's important to always be tracking and always know your money.
Yeah, I mean, nothing tastes worse than a pina colada with a side of guilt, right? So we want to be able to enjoy our summer, enjoy our vacations, knowing that we have kept our financial house in order. And so we unfortunately can't just tune everything out while we enjoy summer. We want to be able to have that foundation in order so we actually can.
There is so much to think about when it comes to our finances. How do we decide what to look at first?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest question I get is people are overwhelmed with money and they're like, where should I start? What goal should be my priority? And a lot of people think it's paying off debt, and that's so important. But especially right now, you need an emergency fund. And that emergency fund should be at least 3 months of living expenses in what's called a high yield savings account. And the reason we prioritize that emergency fund first is, one, we don't want to go into more debt trying to pay for an emergency, like you losing your job or getting laid off or something happening. And the second thing is mental health is so important, especially when you're managing your money. And there's something so nice about being able to say, okay, my head hits the pillow at night. I know no matter what happens tomorrow, I'm going to be okay for at least a period of time. And I also believe you just need some money to be able to protect yourself if you have to escape an unsafe situation. So that emergency fund is our first goal always.
Okay, so once you have the emergency fund established, and maybe one of your goals is to pay off some of your debt, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, so not all debt is the same. It's easy to lump all of our debt together and be like, okay, we have student loans and we have a car loan and we have credit card debt and it's all the same. It's not. It depends on the interest rate is the big thing, right? Credit cards are really expensive interest. They're going to start at 15% and go all the way up to 30. On average, right, we're looking at student loans being like 4 to 7%. So you can see that's way more expensive. So we want to work to pay that down. And the best way to pay off debt is to lower the principal. The principal is the original amount of money you took out for a loan. If we can lower that cost, you're going to pay less in interest in total, and prioritize your debt by the interest rate. The highest interest rate, that's the one to start paying off first.
Okay. For folks that are watching, they've got the emergency fund, they have paid off their debts. What do you do next?
Yeah, I think then we go into prioritizing our retirement. Retirement is the biggest expense of your life, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it that way, but we really do at Her First 100K.
I've never heard it said that way, which gives me a little bit of anxiety.
I know, but it's really important to talk about, right? Everybody thinks, okay, buying a house, especially in Seattle, that's going to be the biggest expense of your life. No, it's retirement. We really want to start investing for retirement. So even if it's just a little bit of money, time is more important than the amount of money when it comes to investing. And if you work a more traditional job that offers you a 401k, and especially if they offer you like a 401k with a 401k match, this is a really great way to jumpstart those retirement savings.
And let's say you're tracking pretty well, you're following this advice, and you feel like you're going to be pretty set in retirement. Is there anything else that you should be doing? Anything else you should be looking at to maximize things?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always thinking about investing consistently rather than, okay, I need to save up a certain amount of money to be able to get there. I think a lot of people wait to start investing because they think, oh, I don't have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And especially if you're feeling okay, just keep investing consistently because, again, that's going to be a pretty big expense. We talk about it a lot at Her First 100K is making sure that you're prioritizing your financial, priority list is what we call it. That's the order in which you do things, and always making sure you're set up for success.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Always, always.
All right, Tori, great to see you. Thanks for the advice as always.
Thank you.
And remember, Tori joins us here every Monday at 4 o'clock, and you have questions for her, please send them in. We want to answer them right here on air for you. Text the word money to 206-448-4545. We'll get those questions answered, and she'll share her answers here at 4 o'clock on Mondays.